Hi, I'm Ray Karpinski, and I'm the lead animal caretaker here in the herpetology department of the Oklahoma City Zoo. Thank you for joining us at our Komodo dragon habitat over here at Sanctuary Asia. We're going to be doing something for you called OKC Zoo It 2. It's a new digital segment that the zoo is making to connect you, the viewers, to us here at the zoo and our animal family during these times of uncertainty. So hopefully we can bring some joy to your day. I'm going to bring out our co-star. Padar is our 7-year-old male Komodo dragon. What we're going to be doing for him is, if you see at the bottom of this tree, we have a rib cage of a deer, and we're doing a little enrichment for Padar. So what he's going to do is going to come out of the shift door, and hopefully he's going to use his awesome, strong leg muscles and neck muscles to be able to rip chunks of meat off of that rib cage. So usually in the wild, they would eat whole prey, but here at the zoo, we like to do things for enrichment. We would not be able to give him a whole deer here. That's a lot of food. In the wild, they would be able to eat that much. They could eat up to 80% of their body weight in any given day, but then they would not eat for months afterwards. So we're not gonna give him quite as big of a meal. We're just gonna give him this rib cage. He probably won't eat after that for at least 3 weeks. All the other food items we give him are all whole prey that has all the vitamins and minerals that they need, other than just what these pieces are right now. So hopefully he'll smell what's going on in here and he'll come out of the shift door for us. Oh, here he comes. So like I said, this is Padar. He's 7 years old. He is not full grown yet. He is about 6.5 feet long. Komodo dragons are the world's largest dragon or monitor or lizard, which means they're the heaviest, not the longest. So they can get up to 150 or 200 pounds as a male, and they can get as long as 8.5 feet. So Padar here, being only 7, he's not full grown yet. They can live to be up to 30 years old. We also have another Komodo dragon here named Katara. She is going to be 10 years old in August. She is about 5.5 feet long. She's in the back right now also enjoying some deer enrichment just like Padar is right now. And as you can see, he's using his really sharp teeth and his neck muscles to be able to rip pieces off. Enrichment is good like this to be able to keep the neck muscles strong and to keep his arm muscles strong. Usually we'll feed him quite smaller food items. We'll feed him rabbits, we'll feed him rats and different kinds of fish. Sometimes they also get ostrich eggs, which is Katara's favorite food. She really loves those. Padar really loves his rabbits and his chickens. This is the first time that these two have gotten deer from our zoo, and so they seem to be pretty excited about it. And this should keep Padar occupied for a while. We tied it onto the tree so he won't be able to eat it all in one piece. And right now he's just trying to see how big of a chunk he can get off. They love to eat really big chunks of meat, and so if he can't get it just with his really sharp teeth, you'll see him putting his front feet up there and using his legs and using his claws to break off bigger pieces. And they can digest the ribs that are in there. They can digest hair and bones and different things like that. And so even the twine that we have the deer tied onto the tree with is made of a natural material. It's made of plants. And so if you were to eat a tiny little piece of that, he'll be able to digest that too.
So we're going to take our first question from our Facebook Live viewers. So Ray, who is Padar's favorite caretaker?
I would say me, of course. It also happens to be I'm the one that brings food. So he sees me on a daily basis and he knows I'm the giver of fun things like enrichment and food. Komodo dragons can tell different keepers apart. Not a lot of reptiles can do that. but monitors are really smart, and so they're some of the only reptiles that we have that can actually differentiate between keepers.
And about how big do they get?
So they can get up to 8.5 feet long. That is for a full-grown male Komodo dragon. They can also get up to about 175 or 200 pounds, being really, really on the bigger end. Like I said before, Padar is about 6.5 feet long right now, and so he has a ways to go before he gets that big.
All right. And we kind of gathered some questions from our Instagram followers. A little Instagram story. People are able to submit questions in advance, so I'm going to read those now. First question is from @86Steven5309. Can Komodo dragons swim?
Yes, they can. Komodo dragons are in the monitor family, and all monitors can swim really well. If you look at their tail, it's laterally compressed, and so they use it kind of like a rudder in the water. They can swim on the islands, so they're from the Komodo Islands, and there's a bunch of different sets of them, and they'll go into the water and they'll swim. They really like the water to be able to cool down, and so they're pretty good swimmers.
Great question. Our next question is, do they breathe fire? That's from @SarahPetty2.
Unfortunately, no, but I think it would be a lot cooler if they did. However, we would definitely have to wear a lot of more PPE to go in with them if they did breathe fire.
All right, next question.
Good point, right?
How big do Komodo dragons actually get? That's from @SCUUgly07.
So, like I said, they get up to about 8.5 feet long as a male, and they can get almost up to about 200 pounds.
And what are Padar and Katara's favorite foods?
So, Katara really likes eggs. We give them ostrich eggs, hard-boiled sometimes, and she really loves those. And Padar really likes chickens and rabbits. But he's also really seeming to enjoy this deer right now.
Can you talk about the subject of venom versus oral bacteria regarding Komodo dragons? That's from @CWIT26.
Yes, and even in the zoological community, there's a lot of debate on that. So one of the things is, here at the zoo, we feed all of our animals fresh food items. So in the wild, they would eat things after they were bitten, and they could have infections, or they could not be the cleanest animals. Here at the zoo, we feed everything nice and clean, healthy animals, and so they don't have as much bacteria in their mouth as the wild ones would have. Also, when it comes to the subject of venom, we do not treat Komodo dragons as venomous animals like you would, say, a rattlesnake. When it comes down to the nitty-gritty of it, they do have a little bit of venom, and it's come to find out that a lot of monitors do, but they don't have a very good delivery system to be able to deliver it like some of the other really venomous animals would. And so there's a little debate. There's a little bit of bacteria, not as much as in the wild, and we really don't think that they don't have enough venom to actually do anything. So,
well, that's
even in the scientific community, there's a lot of debate on that every year.
Great question. Okay, next question is, can you talk about their social dynamics?
Yes, so Komodo dragons are solitary except for 2 different times in their life. The only time when they get together and are somewhat social is during breeding and also during feeding. So in the wild, a Komodo dragon, if it hunted down and killed something as big as a water buffalo or a large deer, a lot of other Komodo dragons would come and feed off of the same carcass. And so then they would have a hierarchy of who gets to eat first and who gets to eat what. And so those are really the only 2 times that they're actually social. All the other times they're completely solitary.
Can you talk about why Komodo dragons wouldn't make good pets?
So Komodo dragons wouldn't make good pets for a lot of different reasons. Like I said earlier, how big they get, you have to have a really, really big habitat like we have here at the zoo for them to be able to thrive. Also, they would need outside access too. And when it comes to what to feed them, they'd be really expensive to have as pets. Also, they're pretty dangerous to go in with. We take a lot of precautions when we go in with them and wear a lot of PPE, so definitely would not be a good animal to have as a pet.
Can you explain to our viewers what PPE is?
So PPE is personal protective equipment, and so it's things like when we go in there, we'll wear boots and we wear really long gloves, just to protect ourselves if anything were to happen.
All right, our last question from our Instagram fans is, where is their natural habitat?
So their natural habitat, they come from the Komodo Islands. It's in Indonesia, and it's really hot and dry there. And the habitat differs a little bit between really big adult Komodo dragons and little Komodo dragons. Adult Komodo dragons, they'll spend all their time on the ground, and they really like to dig and make burrows. Katara, that's her absolute favorite thing to do. If you see her out in the habitat, you'll usually see her digging holes. When it's really hot outside, they'll go and sleep in them. However, a lot smaller Komodo dragons, they'll stay up in the trees a lot more, so they're more arboreal. Komodo dragons are cannibalistic, and so the little Komodo dragons will go higher up in the trees where the big Komodo dragons can't get to them.
All right. Do you want to say goodbye to everyone?
Yeah. Bye, guys. I hope you had fun watching Padar eat his deer. Thank you for joining us at OKC Zoo at 2, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.
We want to say how much we appreciate everyone's enthusiasm and their questions. Unfortunately, we can't get to all of them, though we will try to answer them a little later on. Be sure to watch our OKC Zoo at 2 tomorrow. We're going in with the alpaca to learn a little bit about our alpaca herd at the zoo. So be sure to tune in, and thank you for watching.
Thanks, everyone.